Welcome back. It's my podcast once again, episode 3. Today I'm in a different location, as you can see. Today is a day where I'm meal prepping for my weekend. I'm really excited to get into today's topic because it's something that was really impactful in my life and something that honestly changed the entire trajectory of my life. And the topic of today is how boxing changed my life. I think that during that time in my life, when I found boxing, I was like really in a bad place because a lot of things were happening around me, and I did fall victim to the um can I say that on YouTube? To the California flower, if you will. And I was very young. I was like literally 14. Oh no, I think I was 13, 14 when I first fell victim. And that basically continued on throughout my life until I was like, I don't know how old. I think it lasted around a year. So maybe from like 13 to 14 or something similar to that. It was just a lot of people around me were doing it. All my friends, people that I looked up to, were doing it, and so I unfortunately began doing it as well. I I think that I tend to be a very easily influenced person. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna burn my head off. This is kind of scaring me. All right, I think that the experiences that you have in your life do mold you into the person that you will ultimately become, and that is like a really special thing to know and be aware of. Um, I I just am very easily influenced by people in my life, specifically people who I'm very close to. And, growing up, I think 12 to 16 is really like the time period. So, like, middle school is really like the time period where you do a lot of self discovery for the first time. And you kind of realize that there are categories that the world wants to put you into, and choices that you're not supposed to make, but you make anyway. Like, you make mistakes, and it does change you into the person you are today. With all that being said, the thing that really molded my entire mindset and my entire life was boxing. Um, it might sound really weird, but I am just a person who likes routine and um, having some sort of purpose, or like something to be passionate about. If I have nothing to be passionate about, I kind of feel empty in a way. Um, and so I think it was around 2018, 2019. I wasn't doing any sports, but growing up, I had done a ton of sports. I think I've done every sport. Like, I did um, tennis, volleyball, soccer, and then just in passing, I would play like basketball. Um, but yeah, I had kind of a childhood where I was really in sports, and then all of a sudden I wasn't in any sports, and I found boxing. I literally Google searched like sports, and I remember finding boxing as one of the results, and I was like, wow, that's like really cool, and I immediately was interested in it. And so I started Googling things and looking things up, and I found this video. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but I think anytime you look up anything, it'll be like day in the life doing something. Like, I found a video where it was like I was intimidated by the idea of boxing because I'm a girl, and so I was trying to find people who looked like me who did it. And so I found this video, and it was like two women who trained like boxers for like a certain amount of time. I don't remember how long it was, but I remember watching that, and I was like, wow, this is something that I could really get into. And it made me feel less intimidated about the idea of walking into a gym that was going to inevitably be full of men. Um, so I talked to my dad about it. I was like, "What do you think about this?" And we found a gym. He was basically like, "Okay, find somewhere to do it then." And so I found this gym very local to me, and I signed up. And from then on, I think my life really changed for the better because it really pushed me to be a better person in every single way. And while I was doing it, I became very good at it. I became very passionate about it, and it helped me get through a lot of things that were taking place in my life at the time. I think if it weren't for boxing, I I would like not know what to do with myself in those times. Like I wouldn't have known what to do with myself is what I meant to say, because I was really going through a lot, and I'm not going to get into that because that's not the topic at hand, but the general idea is that I genuinely was going through so much at the time, and I needed something, and I had something, and I think that that's something special and something that I will never take for granted, and I will never not be grateful for that experience. After a bit, I was still under the influence of the California flowers, and so I was still doing that and still making bad decisions and not following rules, not being respectful. And I started boxing and I learned discipline, which is something that's very important. Any boxing gym is discipline. And I learned that, like, respect is something that's important to every single person, and every single person deserves respect regardless of anything, because you never know what a person's intentions are, and you cannot underestimate people. The way that the way that discipline is introduced in a boxing gym is really just like, first of all, the atmosphere, the vibes in there, the energy in there. Everybody is doing one thing, and everybody is being trained by someone. Whether it's a group class or whether it's a one-on-one lesson, it's very focused on you, and you're very focused on you because it's kind of an individual sport. Um, so through that, like, your coaches are very in my personal experience, my coaches were very nice to me, but they also pushed me to my limits, which is another thing that I'll get into. But yeah, you learn discipline because it's really like, I was in group classes a lot of the times, and so it was like, you're going to do 25 jumping jacks right now as a whole, and you're all going to count to 25 as you're doing them. And if I don't hear you loud enough, I'm going to make you do 25 more. Things like that, where like, you learn order. You will learn order, and you will learn to participate whether you like it or not. And you'll learn to, like, take care of each other. um so many people of so many different ages were in that group class that I was a part of, and we all held the same amount of respect for each other, whether we didn't know each other's backgrounds, we didn't know anything about each other. We just all worked together because that's, like, literally just discipline. It's To be disciplined means to, like, follow rules and follow order, and to be respectful means to take care of your neighbor. Um, and those are two very big things that are taught, believe it or not. I feel like a lot of people, you think boxing and you think like aggression and hitting people, and it's so much more than that in my eyes. And this might sound all very crazy, but I think if you're a part of a boxing gym and you've boxed before, or like anything like that, you will understand the um the impact that it has on a person's mentality. uh I feel like it was much more to me than just hitting a punching bag or sparring or anything like that. Anyways, throughout my boxing career, which lasted around 2, 3, 4 years. I'm not entirely sure, but it was quite a long time. A lot of the days that I would have in that period of time were very difficult days. As I was explaining, I was going through a lot, and so a lot of the time it would be very difficult for me to get up and get out and do something. But my Tuesdays and Thursdays group class was like always something where I would be like, I really don't want to go to this, but I'm gonna get up and go to it because I know that it's gonna make me feel better. Um, punching bags does actually do a lot to your mental health. Like it honestly, um, when you're angry, it's there for you, and then you're just surrounded by your peers and people who are sharing the same experience with you. Um, it's pretty special in my opinion. Um, so I ended up finding this trainer. I forget his name and I wish that I remembered his name, but he took care of me very well. He told me you need to drink this amount of water in a day. You need to drink this kind of water because it goes into your blood better and it's so much better for your body. And he showed me like what I needed to eat. He told me what I needed to eat. He told me like just what I needed to do to get my body right if this is what I wanted to do. Um, and at the time, I really did want to do it. I really did want to be a fighter. And because I did want to be a fighter because it was so life changing for me. And it was very, it was just exactly what I needed at the time. And so that's what I wanted to do. That's what I was passionate about, and that's what I thought my destiny was. Like I was convinced. Again, I say this in the perspective of me having this mindset of like you can achieve anything you want to because you are pushing yourself so hard and because you're disciplined and because you know how to respect people. This is what you deserve and this is what you are going to do. That's exactly how I felt. I felt as if I trained hard enough to be a world champion in the future. um I so once I found that trainer, I hardly saw him because he was kind of injured. So every time I saw him, he would check up on me and make sure I was doing good and make sure I was eating right and training right. And it was just a very special bond that I feel like we had, whether I saw him a ton or not. I would train very hard. I would push myself to my absolute breaking point. I would always make sure to outperform anyone in the gym, not as an ego thing, but as a like I absolutely believe in myself thing. And like if I push myself hard enough, I will do what it is I want to do with my life. And so I think that that really changed a lot in my life because like even just like going to the gym and weightlifting, I will absolutely destroy myself because that that experience that I had where like people are pushing you to the limit. And like I have this I now have this like constant need to push myself in everything that I do, and my constant like voice in my head telling me like to do things that I believe in, and just really feeling like I'm going to achieve everything that I imagine I'm going to achieve. Um, and it helps me out in honestly every aspect of my life because believing in yourself is something that is really important, especially because I'm now in the music industry. It's very almost alienating and kind of feels isolating to be an independent artist because like it's really just you. Like it's really just I mean in my situation it's really just me. Like I'm a one man show. I produce my music, I vocal produce my music, I mix my music right now, and I really am just a one-man show, and I only have myself to rely on for that, and it is very isolating and scary and hard to be your own biggest fan all the time. And sometimes it even feels hopeless because people aren't listening to this song as much as I thought they would, and I wish my song would just blow up. But in that comes also the discipline part. Like, you will outwork someone, you will push past these thoughts, and you will like get to where you want to get. And it's really like everything takes time. It really, you need to have patience in any career because it takes like 20 years to get a degree. I just have to thank that sport for a lot of things in my life and a lot of the way I think. I've learned that there's a difference between like believing in yourself and like believing in yourself. Like, if you believe in yourself, it's really like, oh, like I can do this. But like believing in yourself, because I can't think of the right word, but like really believing in yourself is like really betting on yourself and really trusting that you're going to do what you need to do to get where you want to be. I just really am so grateful for my coaches and my um honestly, I can also thank my own willingness to put myself through all of that and my ability to grow and learn this much from something that is objectively just a sport. Being able to take away so much from that, whether like regardless of how it ended for me, which was not great, is something very special. And I think that I'm very, very glad to have had that experience. I would not be the person I am today without it. If I continued down the path that I was on at the time with the California flowers, I have no idea where I would have been because it was starting to get really to a point where it was like daily, and I would leave my house just to do that, and I would spend money that my dad gave me to do that, and like money that I was given for food would be spent on that. And I don't think that that was a wise decision at all looking back, but I think that again, every experience, everything that you go through as a child or even as a young adult or as an adult, it will mold you into the person that you ultimately become, whether that be like in the future, whether that be in the present. Like, you're going to be a different person every single day. I think that everyone is a different person every single day. Everyone faces their own challenges every single day. Everyone has persistent challenges that go on every single day. Um, it's really what you do to like get out of them. I learned today that when you are in a dark place and when you feel like everything is too much and you are just thinking to yourself, I can't do this anymore. First of all, I those are very hard things to think. Um, and I know because I've been in those places more times than I can count. It is very important to breathe, and it's important to try to see it from an outside perspective, or literally just to think like, okay, if you're thinking to yourself, I can't do this anymore, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't know what to do, those are all thoughts that really put you in this negative, dark, dark place. And all that it takes, the only solution to this is to counteract it. Like, I understand being in a dark place, you don't want to get out of it, but the only way to get out of it is to be like, I can't do this right now. I can't do this right now. I can't do this anymore, but I can get up and go sit outside. You know? Like, being in this dark place, your body is literally shutting down. Your body is telling you what to do to protect itself. Um, it's very important to just think, like, okay, what can I do right now? If you're here, you're thinking, what, I can't do this anymore, your body is still alive. Your body is still alive. You are still able to, like, take a couple deep breaths or, like, turn your phone off. I don't think that there is an easy way out. I think that everything you do impacts everyone around you. That being said, I do completely understand having those thoughts, as again, I have been in that place many, 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 many times. Um, while that is not what this podcast is about or titled, it's something really important to me right now, and I think that I want to send that message, and I want to make sure that, well, I want to spread that message, and just I just want people to know that they're valued, and um if I can say anything today that you really listen to, it's like, I just want everyone to know, like, you are a human of value to the world. You could literally grow up in a couple years and, like, be a crazy scientist and cure cancer. Like, I don't know, you could be someone extraordinary. I think everyone is unique in their own ways, and everyone has their own things. I think it's just really important to me that people know that they're not alone in anything. Me, I bet you could look at my social media pages, or you could, like, see me in public or something of the sort and think, like, oh, I really wish, I wish I was that happy. Um, the truth is that I've been having, like, crazy mental health challenges for the last year, and I think that everyone, honestly, you could look at anyone and say that, and I don't think it will ever be entirely true, because, like I said before, everyone faces their own challenges every single day. Everyone has persistent challenges every single day. Everyone is unique in their own way. But yeah, the message is really just that, like, if you are not in a good place, if you're not in a good place, call someone, text someone, just hold on. Just hold on. My message is to just hold on, because if I wouldn't have made it past those years when I was going through a million different things at 14, 15, I would not be here right now. I would not be talking to any of you. I would not be sitting out here with my little grill and chicken and corn and cooking my meals for my next 3 days of work. I I'm just grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to anyone who's watched today's episode. I appreciate every single one of you. Hopefully this taught you something, or was inspirational to you, or just helped you pass the time today. I appreciate you guys listening to me. I know I'm literally 18, but I've been told many, many, many times that I'm, like, super wise and mature for my age. Comes with trauma. Hate to break it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, listening to my music if you do. I make sure you follow my Instagram. Make sure you like this video and subscribe, and so that we can grow our audience and spread more messages like this to more people. I appreciate you guys. Again, I appreciate you guys so much for listening. It's crazy that anyone's even listening to my podcasts. Like, I'm really grateful for that as well. Anyways, I'm gonna go because my grill is almost ready. I appreciate you guys watching the fire blow in my face. I appreciate you guys clicking on this video. Please, if you want to, check out my music. That is my ultimate goal in my life, is to be a very great musician. And I feel like I already am, for that matter. But I just want to be discovered, and so Just like this video and subscribe so we can get a bigger audience in this bitch, and maybe we can do a Q&A when we get a bigger audience, so more people, because I'll have more people to ask me questions. I appreciate you guys more than you could ever know. Keep going in whatever you're doing. Keep going. Find something. If you feel like you have no purpose, Google something. Like Google hobbies, Google sports, Google something. Find something that you enjoy and don't give up. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go grill this. Let me walk around this table. Ooh, it's nice and toasty up here. You guys are invited to bring your s'mores. If you haven't forgotten throughout this video, I am still quite funny. I was just serious today, but I'm still quite funny. I promise. Don't tell me I'm not funny. Okay, hopefully I don't singe my hair right now. Bye. Peace out.